Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I always believed Christmas had a way of softening people, melting sharp edges, stitching old wounds, reminding us of who we loved and why. But that night, the night my wife Sophia stood at the head of the table with a small white envelope, Christmas became the blade that split my life in two. The fire cracked behind me. My 3-year-old son Eric giggled beside his plate, cheeks smeared with mashed potatoes. I remember thinking, this is happiness. Then Sophia cleared her throat. Connor, she said too loudly, I have a gift, one that will change everything. A hook pulled tight in my chest. Her smile wasn't warm, it was rehearsed, stretched like a mask. My mother paused mid-sip. Logan, my business partner and supposed friend, glanced away. Sophia slid the envelope across the table. Open it. Inside, a printed DNA report. My name, Eric's name, a bold red line between them, not a métis. I couldn't breathe. My fork slipped from my hand. What is this? Sophia's voice rose with theatrical confidence, as if she'd been waiting months to deliver her lines. Surprise, Connor. Eric isn't yours, and I'm filing for divorce. I'm taking half of everything, the company, the house, and yes, child support. A stunned silence swallowed the room. My father's chair scraped back sharply. Sophia, what kind of? Save it, she snapped. I stopped loving him years ago. Eric was insurance, and Logan, she smirked, glancing at him, helped me see what real passion looks like. Logan didn't deny it, just lowered his gaze, guilt written across his coward spine. Eric reached for me then, tiny fingers brushing my sleeve. That small touch, it nearly broke me. I swallowed hard. Tears burned hot behind my eyes. Everyone thought I would explode, break, collapse. Instead, I lifted the DNA report, folded it carefully, and said nothing. Because what Sophia didn't know, the hook pulling me forward, steady and silent, was that I had been waiting for this moment. For her to reveal herself. For the trap she designed to snap shut on her. And God, she never saw it coming. 6 months before that catastrophic Christmas, my world had already begun to crack, quietly, secretly, like ice splitting beneath snow. It started in a pediatric exam room, under fluorescent lights that hummed too loudly. Eric sat on the table swinging his legs while the doctor frowned at the chart. Connor, Dr. Myers said carefully, his blood type, it doesn't align with yours, or Sophia's. Are you sure there were no mix-ups at birth? The question punched the air from my lungs. I stared at my son, my boy, who reached for my tie and giggled. That sound shredded me. When I got home, Sophia barely looked up from her phone. Eric had tests today, I said quietly. Mom, she scrolled. You're overreacting. Doctors make mistakes. But her voice was too sharp, too defensive. When I walked behind her, I saw her screen light up with a message. Logan, he suspect anything? My heart stopped. What's that? I asked. She snapped the phone to her chest. Work, don't snoop. That night, after she fell asleep, I unlocked her phone using a special program. She had no idea that was even possible. And there it was: messages, plans, mockery. Screenshots of my financial accounts. A calendar labeled exit strategy. I had to sit on the bathroom floor just to breathe. Eric's tiny sock lay near the door. I picked it up and pressed it to my face. And for the first time in years, I cried, not for myself, but for him. For the innocence being used as leverage. The next morning, I met with attorney Rachel Boone, sharp, relentless, known for destroying fraud cases before breakfast. After reading the messages, she looked up at me. Connor, this isn't an affair. This is a premeditated extraction, and we are going to take her entire plan apart. Her certainty was the first light I'd seen in days. What Sophia didn't know, not then, not ever, was that during these 6 silent months, I was no longer the one being deceived. I was the one preparing the reckoning. You never realize how fragile a lie is until you begin pulling at the threads one by one and watch the entire tapestry collapse in your hands. In the weeks after hiring Rachel, my life became a quiet battlefield. Every smile Sophia gave me, Every casual touch, every "how was your day, honey?" felt like a blade pressed to my ribs. But I played along, I had to. Because to expose a lie this big, you don't shout. You wait, you watch. You let the liar believe she's still winning. One night, as she kissed my cheek on her way out, "Girls' night," she chirped. Rachel and I followed her car at a distance. Not to a bar, not to her sister's, to Logan's condo. Through the tinted windows, we watched them embrace, mouths pressed together as if they hadn't spent months dissecting how to gut my life. Rachel whispered, "This is all we need to lock the custody case." But it wasn't enough for me, not emotionally. I needed the truth spoken aloud, so I waited for the next morning when Sophia stumbled in wearing the same perfume she'd left with. Eric ran to her, arms wide, but she barely patted his head. She was too busy smiling at her reflection. "Long night?" I asked casually. She shrugged. "We were celebrating. I'm close to getting exactly what I deserve." The words hit me so hard I had to grip the counter. "What is it you think you deserve, Sophia?" She smirked, cold, triumphant. "Freedom, wealth, and a life that isn't chained to your boring loyalty." For a moment, I truly saw her, not the woman I married, but the mask beneath, cracked and glittering like broken glass. "I hope," I said quietly, "you're ready to live with the consequences." She laughed. And that's when I understood the hook of this whole nightmare. She still believed she had the upper hand, but her beautiful lie was already burning, and the truth was coming for her faster than she could run. Now let's fast forward 6 months. It was 10 days after Christmas when Sophia declared that my son was not mine. The courthouse smelled of old paper and cold marble, a place where truth felt heavy, almost sacred. Sophia strutted beside Logan, chin lifted as if she were walking into a victory parade, not a legal reckoning. She didn't know what was coming. That was the hook pulling the entire room forward. When the judge entered, even the air tightened. My lawyer, Rachel Boone, started talking first. "Your Honor," she said, "we submit exhibits evidence of infidelity, conspiracy, and financial manipulation." A stack of folders landed on the judge's desk with a thud that echoed. Sophia blinked. "What is this?" she hissed. "Reality," I murmured. Rachel opened the first file. Text messages, late-night plans, banking transfers. A calendar titled "Exit Strategy." The judge frowned. "Mrs. Hale, would you like to explain these?" Sophia tried to laugh it off. "Fabrications. He's trying to punish me." Rachel didn't flinch. "Then perhaps the court should hear from your sister." The courtroom doors opened. Her sister, Marin, walked in, trembling but resolute. Sophia's face drained of color. "No, Marin, don't." Marin wrung her hands. "I'm sorry, Soph, but you told me everything. You said Eric was your backup plan, that Logan was your real future, that you'd bleed Connor dry. I can't lie for you." A gasp rippled across the benches. Sophia lurched to her feet. "You traitor." The judge's gavel slammed. "Order." And then came the sound I'll never forget. Sophia's breath catching, sharp, panicked, because she finally understood. The lie she built had caved in on itself. After reviewing the evidence, the judge's voice was firm. "Temporary full custody is granted to Mr. Hale. Mrs. Hale will have supervised visitation only." Sophia's knees buckled. Logan backed away from her like she was a burning match. In that frozen moment, the courtroom went utterly silent, because justice had finally spoken, and it was deafening. The months after the trial were quiet in a way I hadn't felt in years. No lies humming beneath the surface. No tension coiled inside every conversation. Just me and Eric learning how to breathe again. But even peace can surprise you. It happened on a rainy Tuesday at the community library, Eric's new favorite place since court-ordered supervised visits left Sophia only an hour a week. He was stacking books into a crooked tower when a soft voice said, "You know, that one belongs on top. It's the hero book." I turned. A woman with chestnut hair and kind eyes smiled down at him. "Hi," she said. "I'm Violet. I run the kids' reading hour." Eric handed her the book like he'd known her forever. Violet knelt beside him, her voice gentle, patient. everything I hadn't realized I'd been starving for. Later, as the rain tapped the windows, she approached me. "You look like a man who's carrying too many storms," she said softly. I swallowed. I was. Maybe I still am. She smiled, not pitying, just seeing. "Then let someone help you carry an umbrella." That line lodged in my chest like a hook pulling me towards something brighter. Weeks passed. Reading hours turned into long walks, shared jokes, quiet understanding. And one afternoon, while Eric tugged her hand and laughed, I realized something that hit harder than any courtroom verdict. She wasn't entering my life. She had been lighting it, gently, steadily, long before I noticed. And as I watched her lift Eric into her arms, I finally understood the ending to my story. That's how Eric and I found a new, kind, selfless wife and mother. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.